Hello, fans, and welcome back to Central Intelligence, episode 7 of our first season here on the show. I'm your host, Andrew Weiss of the Bismarck Bobcats. Let's get right into the action, recapping this week's games here in the Central Division. Last week's Central Division scores started with a win on Thursday for the Minnesota Wilderness over the Minnesota Magicians. But Friday night in the Central Division, it was the Austin Bruins on top of the St. Cloud Norsemen by a 5-3 score. Bismarck 4-3 over Minot in overtime out in Minot. And Aberdeen a big 7-1 win over the Wilderness in Cloquet. Austin's Barrett Brooks with a goal and an assist in the Bruins win. Bismarck's Lars Rodna 2 goals and 1 assist, as well as a 43-save performance for Cameron Corpy. And in Aberdeen, Clayton Cosentino had a goal and 2 assists for the Wings. On Saturday, St. Cloud with a 6-2 win over the Minnesota Magicians to keep pace in the Central Division. Bismarck 6-3 over Minot for the weekend sweep, and Aberdeen a sweep of their own over the Wilderness. Bismarck's Lars Rodna a hat-trick on his way to Central Division Star of the Week performance, and Jake Goldowski for Aberdeen a hat-trick as well. On Sunday, Austin with a huge win over St. Cloud 6-2, the final score there as the Bruins keep pace with the Wilderness for the fourth and final playoff spot in the Central. Barrett Brooks had 2 goals, and Hudson Hodges made 35 saves in the win. Take a look at the Central Division standings. Aberdeen just 1 point away from 100 on the season. Fantastic year for the Wings. Bobcats have second place in the Central Division clinched, while Minot looks to hold on to third place in the Central. The Wilderness and the Bruins right now tied for that fourth and final playoff spot, although the Wilderness have a game in hand over the Bruins. The Central Division Player of the Week, Lars Rodna, a star performance with 5 goals and an assist in 2 games against Minot in Minot. A +6 for the Norwegian forward, who helps guide the Cats to 2 wins on the weekend. It's now time for our interview segment. Let's get down to Carrie with the Wilderness. Carrie, what's going on with Minnesota?
Thanks, Andrew. I'm here with Gavin Rasmussen of the Minnesota Wilderness. How are you doing, Gavin?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Thanks for joining us tonight. You are from Cloquet, Minnesota. So what is it like playing junior hockey in your hometown?
It's pretty nice because your friends and family are nice and close and are able to come and watch the games. And I think for me, especially being from Cloquet, where we play on our home ice sheet, it's a little more of a home ice advantage for me than it is for most people, which can come in handy too.
Absolutely. You've got number 18 Bobby Metz living with you guys, with your family. What has that been like? That's the first time you've had a billet brother. What kinds of things do you guys do when you're not on the ice?
Oh yeah, it's been great. Sometimes we'll, take a drive, go get food together. He's really into getting Chipotle, so he likes that quite a bit. Take a couple trips up there, and then we'll go golfing or frisbee golfing together too, and just, enjoy some time outside.
Do you feel like you have a better connection on the ice with him now that you're living together, or, how does that work?
Yeah, you kind of learn their emotions. So,
Sure.
for me, I feel like when I can tell when, certain his certain attitudes are compared to, other people, just because I'm used to seeing him at home so much. And it's kind of different that way. It's kind of cool.
When he's crabby, when he's in a good mood, that type of thing.
Yeah,
I like it.
Exactly. Yeah.
I like it. So this is your 3rd season with the Minnesota Wilderness. So you've, been on the road a bit with the team. Which team in the league has the best after game pizza?
I would probably have to say Austin.
Austin's got the best post-game pizza. Very cool. Yep. Good job on that one, Austin. Hey, Gavin, thank you so much for joining us for this episode of Central Intelligence. Back to you, Andrew.
Thanks, Carrie. We now go to St. Cloud, where Mark Shelley is waiting with Jack Ryman.
Thanks a lot, Andrew. I'm here with Jack Ryman, forward for the St. Cloud Norsemen, who, over the last 2 games, 2 goals for you against the Magicians and the Austin Bruins. So some success offensively for you in your first season. What's been working over the last couple of games for you offensively?
We're just getting pucks deep and working down in the corners, and we're able to cycle the puck and just get pucks in the net, and it's worked out for me.
One thing that's really become apparent is you're a young man who, when you're on the power play unit, you can convert, especially in the slot there when they give it to you. Where do you think the success has come from on that power play, and for your personal success as well, being able to find the back of the net?
I've learned to find the squeaks and cracks on the ice, and it helps, especially on the power play, and I'm just able to get in those little areas and put the puck in the net.
Well, Jack, this is your rookie season, as I mentioned. You joined the team as an affiliate player for those couple of games when the team was living out of the hotel in Bismarck there for those 3 weeks. Talk about that experience, because at that point you still weren't a full-time rostered member of the team. You were just sort of getting your feet wet in the North American Hockey League, and you really showed out for the Norsemen. But what was that experience like, being the newcomer to the team and saying, I got to live in a hotel for 3 weeks?
Yeah, it was definitely a new change, going to live in a hotel with some new players, but I got to know all of them, knew most of them, grew up with a few of them, and just playing those games really helped me develop me and grow as a player.
And once you made the decision to stick around with the Norsemen, what do you think that did for your mindset and your confidence over the rest of the season to say, I need to start playing consistently if I'm going to crack this lineup night in and night out, now that I'm here and now that I'm sticking around?
Yeah, at first I was a little shaky, especially playing with a lot of older kids, but just sticking to what I did best, work hard, get pucks deep, and grind away. I was able to build confidence, and now I take control of the game.
Well, and sticking with sort of that concept in your first year here, what's been the one big takeaway that you look back and you say, this is the thing that I loved most about playing for the Norsemen in my rookie year?
Just being with the guys, making friendships. I love this team, so it's fun.
Well, that's perfect and great to hear. And 2 goals for you and 2 more games left to go here on the season, both against the Austin Bruins coming up this weekend. Best of luck, Jack, in those 2 games. And congratulations on a hard-fought season and a great campaign in your rookie year.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
And we're going to send it back to you, Andrew.
Thanks, Mark. We now go to TJ in Austin. TJ, how are the Bruins doing?
All right, Andrew, thank you so much. My name is TJ Shalott, voice of the Austin Bruins. Happy to have all of you joining us here on Central Intelligence. And my special guest this week is one of the newest Austin Bruins, defenseman Jacob Malinsky. Jacob, first of all, this is our first opportunity having the chance to chit chat. I wanted to talk to you about what your first impressions are of the town of Austin. You're from Minnesota. You're a Minnesota kid out of Lakeville, so you come about an hour and 20 minutes south. What are your first impressions of the team and the city and your teammates and some of the things that you're seeing?
Yeah, definitely. The first thing that I noticed is everyone's just so welcoming here. Even the teammates, the first day I was here, they were taking care of me. And then my first game here, I had people coming up to me asking me who I am. Like they just knew I was the new kid on the block. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, I love the town so far. I heard someone say once that Austin Bruins hockey is the protein here. And so that it makes complete sense as soon as I got here. So I'm loving it here.
Obviously, North American Hockey League, it's something you're familiar with, being the younger brother of Sam Malinsky, a former Bismarck Bobcat. So you kind of had an idea, I would imagine, about how tough this division is and how tough this level of hockey is. But I want to talk to you specifically about why you chose Austin and why you chose to tender with the Bruins at the end of the 2020 calendar year. What was it for you that really said, you know what, I want to be an Austin Bruin as opposed to being anything else that you could have been?
Yeah, I talked to the coaching staff for a while about it. I came here for main camp, so I got a taste of it. They had me stay with a billet. So I just I got a feel for it, and it fit for who I am as a good fit for me. So I loved it a lot here when I was here, and the coaches, they're one of the best coaches in the league. That's my opinion, and I've only been here for a couple of weeks, and he's super nice guy, constantly checking up on me and stuff. So it shows that he cares, and that's exactly what I was looking for.
I bet your parents are a little bit happier that you're in Austin as opposed to when your brother went all the way out to Bismarck. They're going to be able to make a couple more games. It's only an hour and 10 minutes, and you got to enjoy that too. You can pretty much go home whenever you want.
Yeah, exactly. I remember when my brother was playing for Bismarck, he would always come down here, and this is our time to come and watch him. So I've been around the rink for 2 years that he was there, and so yeah, it's not a bad drive at all, and my parents are loving it.
So you knew exactly what you're getting into because you had some experiences with Riverside Arena, but you might not have known what you're getting into in regards to coming into this team right in the thick of a playoff push. Were you expecting that? And what were your emotions and your feelings like when you made your NAHL debut? And boy, you're right out there, right in the thick of things.
Yeah, it was definitely a little nerve-wracking the first time. I was very excited to kind of get out there and get my first lick in it and everything, but everyone was kind of on edge a little bit, like it's go time because the playoffs are coming up here and we're like just a few points out at the time. So it was definitely a little nerve wracking for me. but the guys, again, they're positive out there. So it was easy to play with them. That's for sure.
When you talk about picking up the system, was that something that took a couple practices before you were kind of comfortable with where you should be putting the puck and where you should be standing in certain situations? Or did it just kind of gravitate to you naturally? And did you pick it up, just you fish to water?
Yeah, I mean, at first, our D zone, it's been kind of the same at Lakeville South the past 3 years. So the man-on-man coverage I was used to, but the swarm technique, that was a whole new thing. I remember the first practice I saw that and they introduced it to me, and I was thinking, what the heck? Like this might take a little while to get used to going in the corners and battling all the time, setting pins. It's a little different style than what I was used to. But I after the first week, it started kind of coming to me, and then the second week, I'm pretty much had it down. It came pretty quickly.
I want to talk to you about your first junior career point. It was a beautiful shot pass from the blue line. Kyle Alexiak tipped it right up in front. Was that the plan all along? Did you pick your head up and you see him cutting towards the post there and you're just like, I got him. I just got to put this on the money and all he's got to do is touch it?
Yeah, so I remember one of their defenders shot it out and I kind of kicked out the skate and just barely grabbed it. And I remember as soon as I picked up my head and saw that, I had a defender in front of me and Kyle's stick was just in a perfect lane. And hit him on the tape, luckily, and he made a very skilled play on that. It was a great tip by him.
We've seen you score your first career point anyway. We've seen you in 3 games, and we're starting to formulate our own opinions about you. But as you talk to the Austin faithful that are out there that are going to be season ticket holders and billets and stuff next year, what would you tell them in regards to what type of player you are? Who can we expect to see on the ice? Who is Jacob Malinsky in terms of a player?
I'd like to consider myself as an offensive defenseman. I like to hop on the rush a little bit. Sometimes that can catch up on you if you're not getting back hard. But with our systems, our forwards are covering a lot, and so that allows me to do so. But also in the D zone, I mean, I'm competitive in the D zone. I like to get in those little scrum battles and stuff. I don't really see myself as much of a fighter, but who knows, that might come on a little later.
It's funny you say that because we saw that on Friday night, our last home game. I remember you jumped in on a rush. The St. Cloud Norsemen took it the other way, but man, the first guy back and back checking on that counterattack was you. You were able to kind of make up for getting caught a little bit. So if you got the speed, why not do it, right?
Exactly.
Well, Jacob, thank you so much for taking the time joining us here on Central Intelligence and on the Simplified Technology Solutions Intermissions Report. Can't wait to see what the future holds for you in black and gold, and go on out there and help the Bruins get these crucial wins and get into that final playoff spot. Thanks again for all the time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Andrew, let's go ahead. We're going to throw it back to you. Awesome, man. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
Of course. Thank you very much.
Awesome. We'll see you soon.
Sounds good.
Bye-bye.
Thanks, TJ. Let's go down to Jay in Aberdeen. Jay, what's new with the Wings?
Thanks a lot, Andrew. Jay Klein Connect here, and this is our portion of the Aberdeen Wings Central Intelligence Show. And today, joining me is the number 20 of Jake Goldowski. Thanks so much for coming on. Big weekend for you, a hat trick on Saturday night there in Cloquet. And, Mother's Day, it was your birthday weekend. You had family there. That's a lot of cool stuff happening for you over this last weekend.
Oh yeah, it was a great weekend. And it was nice to see my parents. I haven't seen them since September, so it was really good to see them all. It was just a good boost of energy for me over the weekend.
Yeah, good vibes overall. And I mentioned I had a chance to talk with your sister a little bit. She is definitely a big supporter and very, very proud of you too, so that's cool. You know, Jake, you've played in the OHL, the USHL with the Dubuque Fighting Saints, Saginaw Spirit, the national U18 team, and now, of course, with the Wings here in the Null since January. And I wanted to talk with you a little bit about the different style of play from each league. You know, oftentimes I'll talk to guys that have been in other divisions in the North American League, and they'll compare South to the Central or whatever. But it's interesting to, you know, look at, say, the North American League versus the OHL or the USHL. A lot of times I think people talk about the USHL being skilled and a little faster and stuff, but pretty close, because I know we've scrimmaged USHL teams a handful of times and stuff, and it's you know, about a horse apiece. What are your thoughts on the comparison of the leagues?
My comparison, especially this year's a little bit of a weird year. You had a bunch of college kids come down, and you know, Harvard wasn't playing, so they got a bunch of kids came down to Chicago and stuff like that. And you know, it's, as they say, it's a trickle-down effect a little bit. But honestly, I think this year the Null is more of a USHL type of play. Like, it's a really good year this year. I think it's one of the best it's ever been in a long time. And obviously, the year we're having this year is just great. So I don't know. OHL is very fast, very skilled, but definitely not as, I would say, not as defensive as more of a Null USHL league.
Okay.
So
Okay.
I don't know. They're different styles, but overall, when you go higher, they accumulate together.
Gotcha. Okay, very cool. Because I know, like I said, there's people that have drawn some comparisons, and in a lot of ways very similar, but they all have just a little bit of a tweak to them, it seems like. So I thought that was cool that you've had that experience. You could share that with us. Of course, you've got Minot coming to the ODI Center this weekend. Minot clinched over the weekend with their point in the overtime, and then. Finally returning home when it feels like we've been on the road for a long time here for a while. So it's going to be great to play back in front of the fans here at the ODI Center. What have you guys got to do to prepare for Minot? What do you see as some keys?
I think we have to move the puck a little bit quicker, good transition, because they like to sort of trap on us a little bit, get it down and get a nice forecheck on us. But I think we just need to stick to our game as well. Like, we have 49 wins, I think we have the respect to just keep playing our game and show who's boss. So.
Okay, well, and you mentioned earlier, Minot has played the Wings very, very difficult, or very hard, I should say, in previous games. A couple of even shut the Wings out on a Tuesday night up there. So we know they're certainly capable of throwing a monkey or a monkey wrench, I should say, in the works. Not a monkey.
Absolutely.
Don't throw a monkey in there.
They beat us twice, so we gotta get them back a little bit.
Okay. Well, happy birthday to you over the weekend. Congratulations on that hat trick. It was awesome to see, and perfect timing too. Like I said, to have your family there, it's great.
Thank you.
That'll pretty much do it, though. Jake, I appreciate you coming on and joining me here on Central Intelligence.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All right, back to you, Andrew.
Thanks, Jay. Let's throw it to Peter now in Minot. Peter, what's new with the Toros?
Thanks, Andrew. I'm here with Toros forward Liam Cox-Smith. And Liam, you made your Toros debut this week. You're a Minot native. What was that whole experience like for you?
It was great. The fans here are awesome, and just the atmosphere was unreal playing at the barn.
You grew up going to Toros games. What's your favorite Toros memory?
Probably my favorite memory is when you guys were playing in the other rink, in the middle rink, when Mason Morelli got in a fight, and it was a pretty good fight.
Growing up, you obviously attended all these games. Your first game was this weekend versus Bismarck. And growing up, the Bismarck-Minot rivalry, even outside of the Toros and the Bobcats.
Yeah.
What was that experience like, just suiting up and going against the Bobcats?
It was so much fun. I was just so excited, and the rivalry kind of helped the atmosphere. A ton of fans were at the game and stuff, so it was great.
Your first teddy bear toss as a player, do you have any memories of throwing teddy bears onto the ice as a kid?
Actually, I do not. Don't have really any teddy bear.
All right, that's fine. You played really well this weekend.
Yeah.
What was the difference in some of the type of play that you saw from what you're used to playing in the Null?
Just the pace of the game was different, and I just didn't have the puck on my stick as much as I usually do, but it was a great experience.
What's your expectation moving forward into this weekend against Aberdeen?
I'm just having a blast and having fun.
Thanks, Andrew. Back to you.
Thanks, Peter. I'm here now with Bobcats forward Quinn Rudrud off the heels of a 3-point weekend against the Minot Minotauros, including a highlight reel goal that was named the NAHL's top play of the week. Let's start with that. Ruddy, obviously, pretty special play, a little toe drag between the legs, backhand over the shoulder of Keenan Rancier to tie the game at 1 on Friday night. What was the thought process for you during that play, and how did it feel to get that goal?
Lars just gave me a good pass, and I kind of caught it behind me, so I just had to pull it between my legs to get in front of me, and it was on my backhand, and I just tried throwing it to the net and went over his shoulder. So, yeah.
3 points on the weekend for the Cats. A very banged-up Bobcat team that's missing a few players due to injury. You get thrust into a top-line center role out there with Ryan Taylor and Lars Rodna. A huge, huge weekend for your line. What did it feel like for you guys out there?
It felt good to get some points on the board, and especially clinch home ice. I know that's the most important goal for us, and it just felt good. We can finally start to relax a little bit and get ready for playoffs. So, yeah, it feels good.
And like you mentioned, playoffs are right around the corner. This weekend you still have some regular season games left, but coming up soon, you guys will be hosting 2 playoff games here in Bismarck. What does it mean for you guys to be ready rolling into the playoffs?
It means a lot. We all work so hard during the season for this moment, and now that we have an opportunity to play in front of our fans at home, it means a lot to all of us. And I think we're all just super excited. Hopefully we can get all our guys back and healthy, and just go to work for playoffs.
And what are your expectations for yourself as well as your team going into the postseason?
Just to play simple. Don't want to overdo anything and have a costly mistake that ends up in the back of your net because you really can't get it back, and it's kind of do or die in these moments. It comes down to every little bit of energy you got. So just to keep it simple and always make sure you're working your hardest and just leave nothing on the table for them. So
Last thing I got for you, Ruddy. First year here in Bismarck. It's been a long year, but it's starting to wind down. How much have you enjoyed your time here in the capital city?
Oh, it's been awesome. The fans and the teammates, coaches, everyone. It's been awesome to play here and to live here, and it's been just awesome. I don't know. Pretty simple.
That's Bobcat forward Quinn Rudrud. Ruddy, appreciate your time here on Central Intelligence, and best of luck this weekend against the Minnesota Wilderness.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Looking ahead to the games this weekend, the Wilderness play the Chippewa Steel this Thursday at Chippewa in a big out-of-division game for Minnesota. On Friday and Saturday, the Austin Bruins and St. Cloud Norsemen get ready for a huge weekend series as they look to keep pace in the Central Division for that final playoff spot. Minot heads down to Aberdeen to take on the Wings as Aberdeen looks for a record-setting year here in the Central Division, and the Toros look to clinch the third spot in the Central Division. Bismarck heads out to Cloquet to take on the Minnesota Wilderness. Cats lead the series 4-2, with playoff seeding still on the line there. That's all the time we got for today's episode of Central Intelligence. We'll see you next week as every team gets ready for the start of the Central Division playoffs.
Kicked around. Taken away by Lawson. Here he finds Galatz as they step across the line. Galatz over to Parker. Out in front, Lawson, the shot, and he scores! What a setup! Landon Parker in front to Lawson, and he beats Barron on the glove side. The Wilderness have their first lead of the game with 1:07 remaining in the second.
Off the face-off, Bergson gets to it. He'll play along the glass. It bounces out towards center. Here comes Rodna racing up the ice. Potential 2-on-2. Rodna into the attacking zone, holding on to it. Rodna in the slot for Rudrud. To the backhand. He'll fire. He scores! Quinn Rudrud, what a move! He ties the game at 1.
Then gives to Goldowski. Cross ice, McKay, he's in behind the D. McKay shoots and scores! 7-1 at the 2:17 mark of the third.
Stick, Bruins out to center. Simmons Fisher feeds this one up. Here's Shouty, the defenseman, with a shot. He scores! Travis Shouty with a rip! And the Austin Bruins will take a 4-2 lead. 17:21 left to go here in the third period. Travis Shouty's fourth of the season.
Joey Pierce tries to move it forward, played behind the net, hustling after it here is the Michigan Tech commit Grant Doctor. They are able to slip it out to neutral ice, and able to take it there is Walters, fires the first shot on Wasik, and they score! The Wilderness take the lead just 44 seconds in.
Closing to the attacking zone, Westland had it knocked away. It's taken now by Taylor. Here's Ryan Taylor up the ice. He's got Rod in front. Taylor holding on to it. For Rodna on the back door. He scores! A hat trick for Lars Rodna. You can't stop him. It's 3-1 Cats.
Off the boards, taken away by Stender and dumped back into the Wilderness zone. Arquette looking to center, shot, goal! Nice feed from Arquette from behind the net. He backhanded it out front. And who was there? Jake Goldowski on his birthday weekend.
The boards, picked off by Pierce. Slips it back across the Magician's blue line. Pierce guides it forward. Here's Sarter along with Pierce. Pierce toward the net, and they score! That was directed toward the front, and Josh Boleen shovels it past the goaltender, and the Wilderness have tied the game.